Chapter 862. The Consummate Thinker.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Podcast. I'm the best guy ever. We're talking about One Piece. That's Hypocrite.
That's Hippo. Yeah, it's me.
Yeah, and chapter 862, the Consummate Thinker. Thinker's gonna consummate something. The marriage. Yeah. I was actually trying to think of what the consummate thinker referred to. I do not know.
I don't know what the word means, and I do not care.
Well, I know like a consummate professional is like a by the books, reliable professional guy. You know what? I'm gonna Google it.
We did this last time because the last chapter name was the consummate actor. So
we did.
It's called the consummate actor last chapter, and I think we.
Oh, you're right.
What's that word mean? And I forget it.
You're right. I think you're right. It was showing a high degree of skill and flair, complete or perfect, and then also to consummate is to have sex to consummate a marriage or whatever. But that did not happen yet. So.
But it might. It might. That's the coolest part of this chapter.
Well, let's think about that as we go, and we'll see who it's referring to.
So start off. Luffy is asleep, and he's not supposed to be. Obviously, it's the classic, exactly what you would expect. Funny moment with Jinbei, like really yelling at him. He looks like very, very angry at this right moment. It looks like he's gonna bite his head right off.
That's a good example of how I felt. I don't know why, but I had like zero patience for this bullshit starting this chapter. Just did not. I was like, just wake up. Like I don't have. We wasted an entire page on this quote unquote gag, quote unquote joke. I don't know. I thought this was a shitty page. We could have gone our whole lives reading One Piece and just skipped this page and would have made no difference.
I like it purely because of that Jinbei. Like huge angry face, like, oh my god, I can't believe it. You're just not waking up, like screaming in his ear.
I do like his angry face, and I like the way that his words of going wake up go all the way through Luffy's head and burst out the other side as a speech box.
That's
I'll give you that.
Like comic thing.
I like it when he gets cartoony. You never see Kubo do that shit.
And no,
but that's because he's dead now.
Yes, but it was funny because like last time it was like, oh no. We'll figure it out, and then immediately, no, we can't figure it out. He's still asleep. Like.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so then we go straight back to the big moment. Sanji and Pudding on the floating cloud with a teacup on it.
Yep.
Going around, everyone's singing. Pudding is like thinking evil thoughts, and Sanji is thinking, "Oh my God, I'm stupid. Just pull yourself together. Stop being like infatuated for real." It's quite hilarious, and he's got that
together,
face.
Sanji. Yeah,
it's good.
He sure does.
And then we got the chef, which I kind of like him as a character, even though the songs are a bit, translation-y,
Yeah, that's a very good way to describe him.
But he's so passionate about building like amazing cakes and stuff. Like he's the perfect big mom pirate if he's like a pirate.
It makes sense because in like the economy of Totland, like the most mighty chef, like is the most mighty man, is the most influential man because this world is made of food.
Yeah, he seems like the sort of passionate person who was like, the Sanji to Luffy. He really loves making food. He's not even scared of Big Mom. He just loves making food for her because
Look at this cake he made. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. I'm sure it's delicious, and he is proud of it. This is not an insincere feel. He didn't just do this because he was forced to. He takes pride in his work, and I like him. I do
like the many huge frosting skulls and crosses on there.
It's badass, man. This shit's badass. And it's like the altar where they're getting married. That's awesome.
Till death do you part, like right now.
Spoilers.
Oh,
everyone dies.
Shit. Yes, so they're all like, "Oh my God, look at that cake! That's a pretty nice cake." And then they're floating over to it.
And of course, And throughout this whole thing, they keep doing the thing of saying like, you know, acting cute, but secretly like, oh, I just wish this guy would fucking die already. He's a piece of shit. Oh, I love you so much, Sanji. You're such a good boy. Oh, fucking, you're a bad boy. I don't actually like you at all. You know, she's they're making us aware of her inward voice, which is not a nice person.
Reminds me of Sakura from Sakura Haruno from Naruto.
Is really
cool. She had that like inward voice that was like angry and black and white. And
That's true.
And in the old, like the early Naruto games, she didn't have any skills at all, so that was her move. And
I remember that.
Stupid. Anyway,
it was something.
Enough about the better manga. We're talking about One Piece here.
Hey, you know how Naruto was possessed by like an evil spirit that was like a big fox boy? It's like Sakura was possessed by an evil spirit, but it was just herself, only really angry. You know?
Yes, it's known as.
Think about that.
Is known as.
Think about that.
The
vagina.
Female, the vagina power.
Got him. Hate all women. Okay. Then what happened?
So you know, there's a little bit of banter with what's her face and what's his face.
The cute girl whose name I don't remember.
The cute girl who.
The business boys.
I think he's implying that she like she's not actually is not actually that young.
Yeah, I got that too.
So it's like maybe she's like a surgeon, or maybe she does like plastic surgery, or maybe she is like something like a special, like a devil fruit.
I would say, I mean, we've already seen evidence. Okay, like in the world of One Piece, consider the case of Alvida, who is a fat, disgusting slob, and then ate a devil fruit and magically became beautiful overnight. Considering that those things exist in this world, and this woman is a business tycoon, a black market business tycoon at that, it is far believable, like far within the realm of possibility that these people would like do whatever kinds of illegal trafficking are required to, you know, sustain their beauty. Like one thing that has been discussed for a long time as theory that has yet to be proven or disproven was that the reason why Jewelry Bonnie, when she was captured by Blackbeard, and by the Marines rather, wasn't like punished or killed even by Akainu, but was rather like, we're taking you back, because the theory is that she, with her powers to control age of both herself and the people around her, that she was perhaps a tool used by the Tenryubito to keep themselves young and ostensibly immortal.
The people around her as well?
Yeah, remember she when she was fighting some Marines, she made them like really old and really young just to like debilitate them when she was trying to escape. And so that she's been, So my point is
she needs to come back into the spotlight, because I didn't really understand all that stuff with Blackbeard and her being captured.
It was a total mystery, and I'm sure that was done intentionally to make us wonder, and so people have come up with theories like that. But that's why I'm really excited about this part of the story, because now Capone has basically been more or less 100% fleshed out, and we're gonna see, I don't know, Rouge, everyone's favorite character, and Kid, and everybody else. Oh, it's really exciting. It's good stuff. Well, it'll come. It'll come in time.
Yes. So, this is Big Mom's thinking to herself. It begins. Everyone's getting their guns ready. They're ready to shoot the guys in the head. The Vinsmoke still seem completely oblivious. They don't seem to know anything that's going on. Reiju, you know, she figures it. She knows. So, but she wants everyone in her family to die. So she's not going to do anything.
She's just like, yep, my family's going to die. Cool. Sounds good. But I know that she's got, like, she thinks that her family's evil, which it kind of is. Fair enough. By the way, Yonji here is like, wow, Pudding is so beautiful. I wouldn't mind have married her. And I remember way back I had complained about, like, why don't they just get one of, like, the good sons to marry the Big Mom pirates? And they actually do sort of address that here. So I just want to give Oda credit for raising that issue. And we had speculated about it.
I think it was quite clear that they didn't want to be bogged down and, like, have to be forced to be, like, the whole thing with Big Mom is that, you know, they don't want to have to deal with all that bullshit, so...
And that's exactly what Niji says here, so... Yep, makes sense to me.
Or he whispers it or thinks it, I'm not sure. Sometimes Oda does that thing where the characters are whispering, but that they have, like, speech bubbles, so it's like, are they actually thinking about it, or are they saying it? I'm not sure.
That's true. Oh wait, you know what? Like it looks like they're communicating here. Like Niji, it could have gone either way, but then Ichiji over here is like directly responding to what is in that thought bubble that Niji has. So seems pretty clear that this is one of those weird whispering things. Yeah.
But Reiju can tell their table is in range. You know, she knows what's gonna happen. Everyone's gonna. You know, it's all building up, and then we are at the podium, or whatever you call it, the place. With
the altar.
thing.
We're at
the altar. And Sanji is standing very funny. He's standing like with his dick like way forward.
I didn't even notice. It's magnetically attracted to
I
her.
know.
He just can't help it.
I just thought that was really funny. It was like, that's a bit too far forward, Sanji.
I didn't even notice that. Do you ever see that there's these 3 pictures that people post on like 4chan of like a guy standing with like proper posture and then like hunched forward and then like awkwardly like leaning back too far with his dick pressed out forward? He looks just like that guy. Fantastic.
Yes. So in sickness and health, he's saying the vows, and then Luffy
this is it.
awake.
This is the wedding. It's happening right now. They're getting married. They're saying the vows.
Right this very moment. This is the moment
God
everybody
damn.
has to be ready. And then what's this? Dogtooth. Dogtooth sees the future. He sees Pudding falling on the ground. And he's like, what the fuck's going on? Why is that happening? So he can see the future. He can't see how it happens exactly, but he can sort of glimpse.
He's just getting like a little glimpse. And I like that the future vision is happening and that it is happening. That's cool to me. And then Capone's like, oh, he's seeing the future. We gotta plan for this shit. Man, this is a really unpredictable ability because it doesn't look like he like chose to activate it. Like it just kind of came to him.
I think it's probably like like the future self. Like if there's a notable moment, he will, just sort of have a twitch. Like, wait a minute, something's gonna happen.
I guess so.
Like, it's like a sixth sense. Like, Spidey senses.
All I'm saying is that feels like an ability that is extremely convenient for the writer to do whatever they want with, and with no accountability to us as the audience. So my bullshit alarm is going to be ready to go off at any moment in the future.
I don't know. I don't mind it. I think if it's such a,
it's like,
a notable
this is
moment
like,
like this.
This is okay, but is this really that notable? Like,
well,
why did he happen to see her fall down?
That what should happen is that he should, Sanji should be getting shot, but Pudding is like, it's something he doesn't expect, So, and he's paying attention to Pudding, because it's, it's the big moment.
Okay, all I'm saying is, it is, I would say it's fact that any kind of like future sight stuff in a story has a high risk factor attached to it in terms of making your story kind of bullshit. So all I'm saying is this is fine. This one's totally fine, but just be careful, Oda. Don't go too far with it in the future.
All right. Well, anyway, Pudding unveils her eye, which is she expects going to make Sanji go, oh no, and then she's gonna get a gun out and shoot him while
she has this
surprised.
whole preamble of like, oh, get ready to see this disgusting, horrible sight. That is my motherfucking third eye. Ugh! And then she spooks him with it. And
then he says, it's so beautiful, he says.
He's like, Utsukishimeda. That means
exactly in that way, yes.
I bet he says that shit in Japanese. I'd like to see this untranslated. I bet he said that very same sentence. But anyway, he's down. He's down to cloud with triple I.
I thought it was just really cool that he did that. It's exactly what Sanji would do. It's love saves the day. Love wins. Love is the best. And he's like,
well,
he likes her no matter what, and she tears up immediately. She's like, that's nobody. I mean, it's kind of a cliche. Like, nobody's ever said anything nice to me ever in my entire life, and as soon as somebody does say something, I fall over. But dude, I love it anyway. It's so cool.
Kind of a cliche?
I kind of love it.
Kind of a cliche?
I don't care.
Oh, no. This was not good. This was not good.
Was
okay,
great.
You know what? That was my first thought, that this was very disappointing to see, like... Okay, so first of all, you're giving Sanji all this credit for like not being shocked and horrified by her third eye.
Well,
but
yeah.
First of all, he has already seen her third eye when he was looking in the window and watching her talk to, Reiju, when he saw her like torturing Reiju and shit. So like, it's not like this is a fair thing of like a reveal and then he's like, oh, I instantly love it. It's not like it's like that. It's like he's already had time to ruminate and process the fact that she has this third eye and. Okay, this is a genuine reaction. Like, I'm sure he genuinely loves her because he will fuck anything with a vagina. But I'm just not as impressed as, like, you seem to be implying you are by his great
I'm not,
open heart.
I'm not impressed. I just like the fact that this is how it's going. Because, like, the the other ways that it could have gone is, you know, I mean, you know, she has a reason to, you know, because her like involvement, her power, it makes her quite a powerful player. If she's like,
Yep.
and we wanted Sanji to have someone, and it's like everything's coming together. She might be an ally with the Straw Hat. She might be like marrying Sanji in the future. It might be like a real cool thing. I just like all those that implication that those things are going to probably happen in some way.
That ties into another major turning point. So as right now, so I just want to go into a little more detail. So yes, she reveals this eye. Sanji has this lovey-dovey reaction, and she states clearly that she is shocked and moved to tears instantly by the fact that someone is not disgusted and repulsed by her third eye. And there's shots, you know, later on the page about how everyone thought she was gross, like she was forced to be an evil person because you know, people bullied her for having her third eye.
Well, she wasn't forced to be an evil person. It just like naturally, you know, she became an evil person because
well, she was a product of the circumstances of being bullied for the third eye. Yeah,
I'm not. You know, it's not like, oh, she's actually a real good person, but this is, you know, the bullying is the sole reason. I'm sure she is actually like a psychopath at this point, because stuff like that as a child will make you like crazy.
Yeah, she was as a child, she chased around another little boy who had been bullying her with a knife, attempting to stab the shit out of him, and did in fact stab the shit out of him. Like, I know this is One Piece, where, like, you know, Big Mom would stab someone and laugh about it, and we'd all be like, oh, that goofy old Big Mom, it wouldn't be a big deal. But she's like an adult, and she's a kind of a silly character, and we expect, like, she is an evil warlord, more or less, an amoral warlord. Whereas, like, this is we're talking about, like, the developmental psychology of a child, and it is a deliberately dramatic scene where we're supposed to be, like, understanding how she developed into the person she is today. And, like, it really seems like that whole thing is undercut by how fucking easy it was for Sanji to just, like... Pudding has been, like, okay, this twisted, evil person who is just wishing death upon Sanji, and, like, it's all wiped away by the fact that he, like, thinks that she's cute and isn't disgusted by her eye. Like, there's never been a guy who ever thought Pudding was cute, having seen her eye.
I
really?
Just think... I know what you're saying, like, logically, it seems, you know, far-fetched, doesn't really work, but I feel like for the moment, like, I didn't see this coming. Not because it was a bad idea, I just thought, like, you know, it's the same sort of, like, you know, Sanji knows that he's gonna die if he kisses her, so there's no reason for it, like, it's just an unexpected sort of, like, turn. And I don't know, I like the fact that, you know, it's just so silly, but it's so serious at the same time, and I don't know, I can't explain it very well.
There are times when Oda does a total left turn, and things are, like, way sillier than anyone expected them to be, and it's great, and it totally works, and sometimes it even blows me away about how brilliant it is. And I was, you know, I overthought things, and even if it doesn't even have to necessarily be simpler than what, like, someone like me was imagining. It could just be different and hilarious and fantastic. This does not feel like one of those times. Okay, like, and that gets into my point about this scene. So at this point, it is crystal clear that all my speculation about, like, double, triple agents, you know, whether she's been manipulating everyone's memories from behind the scenes, you know, nope, none of that was true. It was all speculation.
Yeah, but I mean, it was all speculation. Like, I wasn't expecting that to be true. I was just like, maybe it could be. I don't take that with me going into something new happening.
Okay, when I can envision a better story than what is presented, or at least a more interesting one, and then I get something that's less interesting, of course I'm let down. What else could I be other than let down?
I mean, something like with so many twists has never really come up in One Piece. Like, that if it's like Oda's like the long game sort of.
I acknowledge that.
Twists. Like, he doesn't have, you know, a big old, oh, everything that you've seen in this comic has been a joke and a lie and not real, and it's actually all like this. And it's like, you know, if you know, you have to be like a super genius in order to figure it out before it happens. It's never really been like that, and I didn't expect your theory to come true, so I wasn't even really thinking about it coming into this.
I agreed with that from the start. I said that One Piece is not the type of series to do something like that. All I was saying was that if there was ever a time to do something like that, this was that time. All the pieces were in place for a grand reveal. And you know what? I still haven't totally given up hope just yet. Because there are surprises in store for us yet in this arc. We have not seen, I don't think, everything that's happening just yet. There will be at least one more big thing. I mean, at the very least, we need to find out, like, what's the deal with Mother Caramel and you know, like, Big Mom's history, I guess. There will be a couple more twists and turns. If this is how it is, man,
I think, like, if you just think of what her life must have been, she's, like, living with a pirate warlord, the types of people she would have been around, there's, like, barely any nice people at all. So
Sure,
the idea
right.
that she's never heard somebody be nice to her, like, after seeing her horrible third eye that she's hated forever.
Okay, well, hang on for a second, because, I mean, what's the deal with the fact that Big Mom's crew is all about celebrating diversity, and yet this girl's diversity is, like, not appreciated? Why is that? And we saw that Pudding lived among the people out in town. Like, she was a chocolatier or whatever. Like, she had that shop. So she's out, you know, in the world, in Totland, just doing shit, encountering all kinds of people in her shop that she owns, I would assume. Nobody ever... Okay, maybe as a child, she was, like, you know, sort of indoctrinated to think, like, oh, my eye is ugly, no one will treat me right if I show it to them, and so she's just developed a habit of hiding it from everyone, unless absolutely necessary, and she shows it to you.
I think what it is
that I
is
could understand.
The Big Mom might not be, you know, might actually not be a great mother, so
Yeah.
after she
Go
hears
figure.
that Pudding is, like, getting bullied for having a third eye, she just says, cover it up, like... but if
Yeah,
she goes like on a psychotic, if Pudding goes on a psychotic rampage, killing some kids who made fun of her, Big Mom would likely just laugh and say, "Ha, that's my girl." Like, she doesn't even think that this is, like, a thing that could fuck her up or make her, like, have, like, a, you know, like, Big Mom is, I don't think she quite knows how to run a family in the same way that like an actual mother would. Maybe Mother Caramel is better at it than she is. And she's trying, but she doesn't really know how to do it. And
That sounds
and
very likely.
stuff like this is like the, you know, I'm sure, like, because, like, how many other, like, of her daughters or sons have, or not sons, I guess, I don't know if she's birthed any sons. I guess she has.
Yeah, a bunch of sons, yeah.
A bunch of sons, but, like, none that we've seen that are, like, at all, you know, against her, because, like, we got Lola's, like, twin, kind of. We got the fisherman lady. What was her name? Your favorite?
Praline, I believe.
Praline, yeah. We got these ones that they don't seem to have too much of a, like, an issue with leaving Big Mom or, like, abandoning her. So I can imagine they stay with her because they don't know anything else, and now Pudding is getting the first glimpse of something that could be, like, a good thing. Like, I couldn't even imagine that somebody would like me for what I am. And that's just sort of, like, it's a big, like, oh my god, and she cries. Like, I can see it happening. I don't think it's too far-fetched, and it's also really cute. So I like it.
Okay, I hear you on that. I've got another point, though. And it is that this fact that Sanji is so into her, I don't buy it. I do not buy it, and here's the reason. So right now, like, this emotional moment. Okay, so right now, Sanji, his whole thing is that he loves women, right? But the thing is, he is totally indiscriminating about which women he loves. His like, passion for women is I would say is totally, like, shallow. It's completely surface level, because he will find something to love in any woman. Like, any woman who's doing, even, like, ones who are obviously objectively evil, like Violet, who in last arc was, like, trying to kill Sanji. He's like, no, I love you anyway. Or here, like with Pudding. He knows Pudding is about to try to murder him, and yet he is, like, all fucking lovey-dovey for her. He can't help it, because he is not assessing her and finding, oh, there's a wonderful person buried deep down inside her, and he sees that.
I can imagine.
That's
I
bullshit.
know what you're saying. It could, you know, it's kind of a shallow. It on the surface level, it seems shallow. I'm pretty sure it's a bit. It goes a bit deeper, but I feel like the whole, like, Sanji liking women who hate him might be a thing.
Well, you know what? Okay, I want to
because
actually
he likes
backtrack
Nami a
little bit.
lot, and she,
They've grown
ignores
close.
him. And...
They've grown close after a while.
Well, I think I don't know whether Sanji has a type, but it seems to be
No type. No. Sexy women.
He just likes
does
women.
not care.
And I think he just... I mean, there was a lot of moments before he knew that she was evil that, she was just being really nice, and he was like, oh, yeah, so I could...
Right, because he doesn't give a fuck. Because he just doesn't give a fuck. If you're, if you're a woman and you hate Sanji, he's into you. If you're a woman and you're nice to Sanji, he's still into you. It's all the same to him. He doesn't care.
I think he's like... That
okay, but
he's like the I see the purity in women. I see that they're better than men. I'm a cuck
pretty
boy.
much.
That's I don't mind that. I think it's a cute character flaw.
I want to amend. It is a character flaw. I do want to amend that a little bit. I want to be a little bit more charitable to Oda's depiction of Sanji, because I said Violet was an example. That was actually a terrible example, because the whole point of Violet in Dressrosa was that she really was being forced to do these evil things against her will, and Sanji legitimately could see that. He has a sort of superpower where he really can see into the hearts of women for the most part. But the thing is, and that was great. I was totally on board for that arc with that Violet. I thought that was cool. But in this arc, that totally does not imply anymore, because he was totally duped by Pudding, and
was he?
like.
I mean, he managed to make her fall down and cry. Like maybe he could
but that's now
that
after
slightly.
he caught her, and then he was still nice to her, even though he knows she wants to murder him and is evil. Like, okay, yes, you can make a case that she is not responsible for like the evil deeds she's doing, because her whole life she was raised that way.
I don't think she's not responsible. Like I wanted to make that clear. Like I don't think she's secretly a good person and she's been forced to do this. It's obvious that she is fucked up and she's like dangerous and will kill people.
If she's not responsible for her actions here, for her like plan to kill Sanji, then no one is responsible for any actions ever.
But I just think he can. Yeah. He loves women so much that he will forgive somebody wanting to kill him.
Sure. And I would call that a character flaw. I would call that a character flaw. Yeah.
I guess,
okay.
But like it's a character flaw that
fair.
in this situation, worked out. It's like someone's idiocy winning the day somehow.
And you know what?
It's like Luffy turning his brain off when he's fighting Enel.
I was gonna say the thing is I'm judging it a little bit with the wrong standards. I think I got a little bit too caught up in this whole mystery plot. You have to view it from what happens in One Piece, and that whole mystery stuff pretty unlikely. Whereas a twist like this,
it was fun
not really
to speculate about.
It was very fun to speculate about, but really, even at the time, I knew my expectations were getting a little crazy, because I said, like, it's never happened before. Maybe this will be the time. Yeah, like, this kind of resolution to this, and, it's still resolving, but I think we get the gist of it by now. Far more, like, it's a very One Piece thing to happen. Like, Sanji is an idiot, and that's why things work out great. Like, things just happen to work out well, because he's just being true to himself. And, I get it, and I kind of like it. I kind of respect it in that sort of One Piece way. Would I have written it differently if it was my series? Sure, but it's not my series. It's Oda's series. So, okay, there you go. I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
Cool. I think I've won you over a little bit.
You did win me over a little bit. It's true.
Nice.
It's true. For the first time ever, possibly? Possibly?
I know. I think I influence you a little bit sometimes.
Oh, I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do. But this feels like a first major argument that you have swayed me on in a... God, look at her fucking standing there with that fucking knife as a little child. Just like, I stabbed the shit out of this dude. It was fucking awesome. Like, okay, she's crying, so she's... I just really feel like... I don't like that they're kind of... It feels like they're trying to excuse this. It really feels like Oda is trying to excuse a lifetime of evil deeds based on... the fact that she was bullied for having a third eye. Like, is that equal? Is the fact that she was bullied, is it okay she stabbed that kid? I don't know, Oda. I don't know.
I don't think it's that. I think they're just trying to explain why she's crying, and that's it.
You know what? Okay, that'd be fair. And she is, like, I do like that she's like weeping. She's clearly been emotionally moved, and she's like, oh, I have to kill Sanji. Like, she obviously doesn't want to. That's a good shot. That's probably my favorite shot in the whole chapter. And she's weeping about how cut she is, and then is also kind of rambling to herself about how she has to now murder this guy. That is a powerful panel. I do like that. I'm just an ugly three-eyed monster. No, you're a beautiful maiden. Yeah, there you go. Okay.
So on the next page, people are like, Pudding? What the fuck are you doing? Like, you're supposed to shoot him. This is supposed to, like, start the whole thing. And then,
Yep.
a Big Mom sends a signal to the priest to just, like, she couldn't do it. Get your gun out. Do it for him. And then Dogtooth gets his jelly bean, or whatever it was, and he flicks it right at Sanji, because he knows that Sanji is going to dodge the priest's bullet, but he dodges the jelly bean as well. So it's like, whoa, you know, he can't tell the whole truth in the future.
Here's a question real quick. So we know that so observation hockey in general lets you see a little bit into the future to like dodge attacks and shit, right? That's established. So okay, Dogtooth seems surprised Sanji moved. He's like, what? He dodged? So when you see the future, are you seeing the future as if no one had observation hockey? Because, like, if he really saw the future, he would see him shooting the bean and Sanji dodging, and then he wouldn't do it, because why would you do it if you're just going to miss?
Observation hockey is, like, based on the idea of, you know, the super martial artist predicting an opponent's moves based on knowledge of stuff.
Sure.
You know, he probably didn't expect Sanji to be that quick or something. Like, I guess he doesn't know how strong Sanji is, and he just thought maybe he wouldn't be able to dodge this.
But Dogtooth has a specific ability to see the future that's, like, above and beyond
that's
most
what
hockey
I
guys.
think it's just, you know, normal observation hacky, like, +1 or something. Like, he can see a bit further into the future than most people.
The rules are fuzzy anyway.
Yeah,
but, like, it's fine.
It's like, you know, seeing what might happen if this continues the way it's going.
Yeah,
it's a prediction thing.
Yeah, okay. I was never that. I think it's always going to be fairly loose. Again, it's like future sight stuff is always kind of tricky. So I think the less focus is put on it, and the more they're just he dodged. It's fine. That's fine. That's totally fine. And then Vinsmoke Boy is like, "What's happening? Oh, I didn't expect any of these things happening. Fuck!"
Yeah. The priest fired a shot, so there's a gunshot rang out. And then it's like, oh no, the priest is dead. What the fuck? I still find it kind of interesting that this scheming genius had no idea any of this. I mean, I'm sure
he's probably the second smartest guy in the series after fucking Vegapunk, as far as we've seen.
Well, he's math smart. He's not like figuring out that he's about to die smart.
But he's also a warlord. You know, whatever. He's a dumbass. He's a piece of shit. He looks like such a fucking dummy in the context of, like, it's been, like, what, fucking 10 chapters of everybody, like, scheming about shit, and he's like, I'm just gonna go to the wedding and have a fun time with my family. Oh, it's gonna be great. Can't wait to take over the North Blue again.
Yeah,
what a fucking
he really underestimated Big Mom. Like,
I still think that he might be holding something up his sleeve. Maybe he didn't expect this. Maybe something else.
Maybe he has an extra. Well, I want to talk about what happens next, because I don't really get it. Inside the wedding cake, it's rumbling, and everyone's like, huh? Well, what the fuck? Luffy and the gang are, like, running with what's his face? The train man?
Diesel, my dude.
They're running with Diesel, and he's pulling everyone. And then out of the cake come out a bunch of mafioso clone Luffys.
Right.
I can't think of where they came from at all.
Okay, there are two options right now. Okay, either they were in the mirror world and somehow burst out, or they or they were in the cake, which I don't think is true. Like, how would they fucking be in the cake? That wouldn't make any sense. They must have been in the mirror world, right? That's the only explanation.
Well, what I think, the fact that they're clones, like, the only thing that has,
Brûlé clearly turned them into each other. Brûlé must have done that.
Well, I was going to say that the Germa Kingdom is the only thing that has, like, cloning technology, like, established as a thing in this arc. So, like, has something gone on with that, or has it been like the Caesar clown in the factory or whatever? Like,
what in the hell are you talking about? No, this is like, because the right before this, Brûlé is like, oh, I'm sorry, they made me do something, and then we see a bunch of clones, and we already know that one of Brûlé's powers is to make people look like other people.
Oh.
So clearly, she just made everybody look like Luffy.
All right, I'm dumb. Okay, you're right. She made everyone look like Luffy.
To what end, I do not know.
Well, I think the point. What was Luffy's job? He had to do something specific.
They were
and
just
want
gonna
to
like distract
him.
Big Mom, yeah, until until they have a chance to fuck up that picture, which will weaken Big Mom, so someone else can assassinate her. Capone, I think.
So
In that,
I'm
like,
just gonna
5
look.
seconds.
Now I'm looking at this thing. There's a Luffy who looks like a monkey with a face, and then there's a one that looks like a lion. Maybe it's like a bunch of animals that are turned into Luffy's.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Like was in the forest. I don't know where they got the animals from. Probably just from the mirrors.
Well, here's the thing. Like you said, if we look at the page, what, like 2 back? Yeah, 2 back from that. We see Luffy right there, followed by Diesel, with like a boatload of dudes all with him. So like clearly all these people are traveling together. So like Luffy and them are I think it's them. It's just all of them. It's all the dudes are like bursting out there. But there's like a lot of people on screen here, and it seems like more than were just there. And again, like I was trying to identify who everyone was and could not do it. So I do not know who all these people are. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's
a little confused.
Odd. It's odd because
where the fuck did they come from? Were they in the cake? How did they get there?
Yeah, maybe there's a mirror
idea.
in the cake, and they either planted it there, or it just so happens that there was one in the cake, and they found that while they were thinking of their plan. Why would there be a mirror in the cake? I have no idea. Maybe the platter that it's on is a big mirror, like a big shiny silver.
I mean, I know that the plan was to burst in there using this power somehow, because like one of the things they were doing in preparation was all loading into the mirror world to burst out and to do this like a chapter or 2 ago. So I'm with them on that. I just, like, there was this whole thing about how Caesar's role in this plan is to show up with the mirror at the end so they can all escape into it. But if they've already got a mirror in this cake, what's the point of that? Were they in the cake? I don't understand what's going on. I have no idea.
They weren't in the mirror world, were they? They were inside Capone. So did Capone jump into the cake?
Oh, they were.
Was he behind the cake?
I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea. You know
what? No, they must have come out of Capone, but I'm just thinking, how did Capone get into the cake? Was there a door? Did he jump in?
Why would Capone be in the cake?
Maybe he's just on the other side of the cake. Maybe he's positioning himself right now.
That would make
behind
sense.
The cake, and then boom, and then they all come out, smash through the cake, and then Luffy starts eating it.
You know what? It's okay. It's a little confusing, but really it doesn't matter. What matters is they were definitely in Capone. I was wrong. They weren't in the mirror world. They were in Capone.
Yeah.
They came out and they showed up and they used the mirror powers to all look like Luffy for some reason. And now we're here and they're gonna start some shit.
They're gonna distract everybody by everybody being Luffy, not knowing which one's the real one.
Yes.
But I still think that might mean that some of these people get killed.
Probably.
Because how could they not? Because like
a bunch of them are probably like Capone crew members or something.
Yeah, that's probably true. And so they jump out. They're gonna distract people. Somebody's gonna smash the picture of Mother Caramel.
Right.
Big Mom's gonna go into a frenzy. And in that short window, she's going to be weakened, and then Capone is going to get a bazooka and shoot her and hopefully kill her. And I still think that's very far-fetched a plan. I don't know.
It's not going to work out.
It's not going to work out. Something's definitely going to go wrong. But Pudding might escape with them if they manage to escape, which will be cool. I think.
Maybe.
Like
I would just say that
Sanji wouldn't leave her behind. Like, no, come with me. She's like, I'll fucking kill you, and she'll be like, that'll be her. She'll be like the new Straw Hat instead of Jinbei, and she'll try to kill Sanji constantly, and that'll be her thing.
We've already got a new Straw Hat this arc, and that is Brûlée, kidnapped Brûlée. We don't have space for 2. And at this end of chapter, she is continuing to prove her incredible usefulness. So she's not going anywhere, as far as I'm concerned.
Ah, come on, it'll be like breaking new ground, like having 2 new members.
That's true. That's true.
Or maybe 3, like Brûlée, Pudding, and Diesel, and that's it. No one else.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. And that means no Jinbei. Hey, works for me. Perfect. Oh, by the way, fuck, there was one other thing I was gonna say. Oh, it's just that if they do like escape with Pudding, I would just like to point out that I could totally see that happening. Because the Straw Hats do things like that all the time. But it would be incredibly irresponsible of the Straw Hats to do that, just based on the fact that she says that she's like had a change of heart. Because this woman has like seriously hurt Sanji's sister, at a minimum, planned to kill Sanji and has memory manipulation
that's exactly
powers.
why I think it might happen, because it'll be like Sanji like sticking up for her. Like,
It'd be so retarded that it's just the sort of thing that would happen in One Piece.
It's the sort of thing like Sanji would bring her along, and she's like, "Why the hell do you have her here?" It's like, no, she's good. She's so cute. And then Luffy would be laughing like, "Haha, yeah, cool." And that'll be that.
Yep. Just
Relay
like
would still be there, and she'd be like crying like, "Oh no!" And that,
just like,
just be like hilarious fun forever.
Just like one of my favorite chapters in anything ever, and it's the chapter where right after Alabasta, Nico Robin shows up on the ship, and like she like blackmails Luffy into letting her join, and then proceeds to go man by man, converting everyone to join her side. And it's fucking great. She gives Nami jewels. She the best thing of all was that was when she did the like chopper impression with Luffy by putting the hands on Luffy's head, and he was like, Chopper! Oh
and then like instantly Usopp and Chopper were sold.
I think that's when I knew that Nico Robin was the greatest character who ever existed, when that chapter happened. Yeah. So there you go. And then she proved her usefulness in Skypiea when archaeology was really important because they were dealing with ancient civilizations, and the whole thing worked into a perfect bow. Oh, it's the best series ever. Skypiea is the best. Good chapter. Good chapter.
Yeah,
though also very strange.
It was a strange chapter. But
okay, it was a mixed chapter for me. It was a bit mixed, but I'm kind of glad that we're just past the end of the pudding thing now. I hope that we can just move on and return to our regularly scheduled programming. And fight Kaido and do that shit. But okay, I think there will be cool things at the end of this arc. So get to it, One Piece. Be next week already.
So what do you think will happen? Do you think they'll either accomplish their goal and or escape, or do you think something like big actual fight will happen?
Well, many of my speculations definitely do not seem feasible at this point. Okay, we know that it's extremely unlikely, based on One Piece, that things will go just according to plan. There's going to be some shenanigans. I mean, they haven't even opened the Tame Tebako yet, and that's going to be a big bombshell when it does. I don't know.
The way that would open, I don't know. Like, at this point, the wedding is ruined. Like, I don't think if they escape, Big Mom is not going to be like, oh well, let's open this, and then explode, and then she's like really mad. I think
you know what?
She's just going to start chasing them. But if she doesn't, then I don't know. When will they get it exploded?
If I was Oda, I think I would have handled this situation a little differently. Like, he might have a better plan, but just based on what I know right now, I think if I was Oda, what I would have done is, like, written the story in such a way that, like, you know how they were waiting for, like, the gunshot as, like, the moment when, like, oh, that's when we activate our plan to break this picture and hurt Big Mom because that she'll have a reaction to it. Like, instead of all that bullshit, I would have simplified things incredibly and rewarded audience members who were paying attention and had their plan of the characters be based on the fact that they already know that there is a bomb in the Tame Tebako, and sort of said, like, that will be the thing. Like, we know she's going to open it. She's said, like, it's part of her, one of the things she wants to do. And so when that opens and, like, the bomb goes off, like, she will be vulnerable then, having just taken a giant explosion to the face, and that will be our chance to, like, hurt her. Like, I feel like that could have been worked in a little more elegantly than not at all, and will be a surprise. Like, right now, doesn't it feel like we're kind of past the point of relevancy for that? Because, like, things are already gone to shit.
The only thing that could happen is that it happens afterwards, or it happens amid the chaos.
If it happens afterward, I feel like either way, that sort of robs it of its a bit anticlimactic to do it at either of those times.
I think it's gonna like maybe it will give them the window to escape. Like, it'll explode the whole place. Everybody like in smoke and like coughing.
I hope something like that
nobody
happens.
will die.
That'd be good.
But that's how they run away, probably.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they're going to run away in some way. I think there's going to be a runaway situation at the end of this arc. Maybe with the Mirror World, maybe not. But I can't see them making peace. I cannot see that happening.
Yeah, well, definitely not at this point.
Yeah,
they killed her
too
cake.
Late.
She's gonna kill them either way.
I was gonna say, the cake alone is enough for a death sentence. I have no doubt.
Yeah, Big Mom's reaction is not about the fact that there's a bunch of Luffys jumping out of the cake. It's the fact that they broke the cake and then she can't eat it.
I was actually hoping Oda would make that a little more clear, but I hope that's what she says first panel of next chapter. Like, right now she's surprised. Her next reaction should be, my fucking cake! I hope that happens.
Yeah. Alright, so that was a good chapter. Got anything else to say? It was an interesting
chapter. Nope, I am all set. Tapped out.
Alright, I'm done as well.
Well, that means that we're both done. Thanks for listening, everybody. It was an interesting chapter. There should be one next week. Is there no chapter next week? Oh, yeah, there is a chapter next week. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I should say, this should be maybe the first podcast on the new separate podcast channel that we made.
Oh, you know, well, about
Are we going to do that now?
I thought we should probably at least make some sort of like announcement vid, just so people know on like on the main channel that like, hey guys, we're doing it here
as well as this. Well, maybe this could be the announcement. We're gonna move the podcast to a separate channel.
Yeah, this can be our announcement then next week's. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe we'll put this one on both. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
But yeah, that's coming.
Yeah, new channel. We're gonna move our shit from here. So yeah, either now or soon you'll see that shit. All right, that's it.
Okay.
Thanks for listening, everybody, and we'll see you next week with more wacky pirate adventures. Bye. Bye.